What's going on, guys? Detached here, and today I wanted to jump in and talk about a few Destiny 2 items. I wanted to talk about Bungie's search for a new community manager. Yep, that's right, Bungie is looking for a new community manager. On top of this, Activision's publishing CEO will be stepping down, which I believe will have some potential impact and influence on Destiny, as this is the side of Activision that deals specifically with the game. Plus, we've got some new confirmations on the upcoming items in January 30th's update, and words from Josh Hamrick on indications of how Bungie will be approaching the new sandbox updates, and a few other things, so let's jump in and get into it. Firstly, it's been a rough few months for Destiny, and this last week just piled on top of that with everything that happened in the faction rally. We have a lot of people waiting till the changes coming at the end of this month or next month, and some are literally waiting until September, when hopefully we'll be seeing a very large update to Destiny 2. But until then, we have events like this recent faction rally that feel very disconnected to the community and how they've been rolled out to everyone. I really do hope the updates coming at the end of this month and into February will be received very well and things take a more positive turn, as the game really just has been in a pretty bad situation, and overall Destiny 2 feels very lost right now. Which I'm just stating the facts, as a lot of people are just at their wits' end in this game, and they've moved on to new things, and the trust level with Bungie from the community is at an all-time low, which honestly feels like Bungie is just completely oblivious to what has happened in the game and in the community, so I just hope that something changes quickly. Something that could help influence that change is that Bungie is currently looking for a new community manager, which came up on Bungie.net, and it reads this: Bungie is looking for a community manager to help our studio improve and develop our approach to our player base and be responsible for delivering on the day-to-day creation and publication of social content. We're looking for candidates with thick skin, sound judgment, and experience developing online followings and communities. So yeah, Bungie is looking for a new community manager, which got people asking a lot of questions about Deej and Cosmo and if they are actually going to be leaving Bungie. Cosmo stepped in and said this on a Reddit thread just recently, saying that neither of us are leaving. I know there is a lot of salt around here right now. We are busy trying to help the team improve things and don't plan on giving up. So at least we've got confirmation that neither of our current community managers are planning on leaving Bungie. I think, all in all, this is a very good thing for solidity within the game and image for the game right now, as seeing someone like Deej or Cosmo step down during a time as where Bungie is in Destiny 2 could be an absolute PR nightmare for them. And you could only imagine the community response to something like this. Either way, the fact that Bungie is looking for a new community manager definitely shows they need more help on that front and more management in that area. Now, moving on to the recent This Week at Bungie update, we heard from Josh Hamrick about the sandbox. And the sandbox is something that just has not been updated enough in Destiny 2. So far, it has been pretty lacking and has just been disappointing, especially within the PvP side of the game, which has just been allowed to get very stale. But Josh Hamrick did confirm the team is working on the exotic balance pass and planning what changes we'll be seeing in Season 3. Grant McKay also says he's been putting together an exciting plan for the mods 2.0 that will open up requirements, significantly allowing them to be more potent in ways that will feel directly related to our ability uptime and the power output. Josh Hamrick has also confirmed that the Sandbox team is working on a bunch of stuff right now, and he recently said on Twitter that if you followed me for a while, you likely remember me tweeting a lot last year at the end of D1. Hopefully you already know I enjoy talking and sharing details within the Destiny community. If not, I hope you start to see it now, as I intend to get back to that for Destiny 2. And he shared a picture of Keanu Reeves from John Wick saying, yeah, I think I'm back. It's going to be good to have Josh Hamrick back and see him and what he brings back to the table. Josh Hamrick has confirmed that the Sandbox team is working on a bunch of items right now, and he recently said on Twitter, and if you remember, Josh was very active back in Destiny 1 during the Age of Triumph with the community, talking about changes and things they were doing with the game. So if he is returning to the game, then I think it's definitely going to be a positive step in the right direction. Josh did hit Twitter in response to a question and basically outlines their overall goal for the Sandbox changes. And he said, "At the highest level, we want to make you feel more like a god as you're playing the game. I think that will influence all of our decisions, and I believe is what, if you condense everything down to a single statement, is what I'm hearing from the community as well. And overall, I think that is a great assessment, basically of what the community needs, what we all want, and how we basically want to feel when we play Destiny as a game." Someone replied asking, "Can you talk about the strategy, either in parts or as a whole, that Bungie has devised to reach that goal?" Josh stepped in and he basically replied with a gif of a volume knob being turned up, so it's definitely going to be cool to see our abilities being amped up, and I really hope that they do something with our power as well. Basically, the point here is Josh is saying that he's going to be back communicating in the community much more, and he's going to be giving us those small little teases, and really kind of what we saw here was a tease on some of those changes that we were going to have. But if we want to see those changes, we are actually going to have to wait until Season 3, and that could be March or April. And for the Sandbox adjustments, Bungie just has to do a better job on implementing these, as they just really have waited too long in a hole for those changes to be made. Also, Cosmo did confirm that the Prometheus lens will be fixed in the January 30th patch, which does sound like we're going to have some other items hit with that patch as well. So I'm really hoping that this next week's Bungie news update will break those items down in depth. And on February 8th at 1:30 Eastern Time, Activision will have its quarterly report, and anyone can listen in. But basically what they're going to be talking about, I think, is going to be important, because it's going to be talking about the franchise. It's going to be talking about what's happening within Destiny right now, and I'm sure we're going to be able to see some of the numbers from the sales on the recent DLC and possibly Eververse. Investors are also going to be able to ask questions, so it's going to be interesting to see how Destiny is presented, given how the state of the game currently is. Anytime I've listened in on these calls, Destiny has always been on the positive and top of the list, but it's worth tuning in if you're interested to see what that stuff is, and if I get more details around any of these items, I will definitely keep you guys posted. Next up, Activision's CEO Eric Hirshberg, the CEO of Call of Duty and Destiny's publisher, which is the publishing executive of the company, is leaving in March of this year. This honestly, I think, is probably going to be a pretty big deal, as he manages the team which oversees the relationships with the developers for the Call of Duty and Destiny franchises. Basically, this comes up with the marketing ideas, the direction, and even some of the decisions around those two titles. So it does have some potential to have big impact on Destiny and what happens in its future. Personally, I don't think Hirshberg is leaving on a bad note, as he has just seen the launch of the two biggest title launches on console of the year with both Call of Duty and Destiny. Basically thought this was an important note to talk about and touch on, as I'm interested to see who becomes the replacement for the next CEO in this position. I don't think Hirshberg, all in all, really is leaving on a bad note. It's going to be curious to see what comes about this, because there's some potential impact that could happen. I don't think we're going to see any direct fallout, and I don't think we're going to see any impact right now, but it is going to be curious to see what happens with the future of the game. Anyways guys, that is the news and things I wanted to let you know about today. I know Destiny is in a pretty dire situation right now, not just with the way the game is, but how the community is as well. But here on the channel, I'm going to continue to follow Destiny and continue reporting on things, as I know we all want a better game, but if we will get that or not, in the end, is up in the air right now. but I will always keep these types of updates coming, and I will always continue to report things like this on the channel. So if you enjoyed the content, a like is always appreciated, guys. If you are new around here and want to stay up to date with the latest D2 content and future updates, be sure to hit that subscribe button. But for now, thanks for watching, and as always, you guys stay awesome, and I'll see you next time.